Welcome back to Further Beyond. It has been 6 years since the last time we talked to you guys, it feels like. That is crazy. But yes, we are finally back. What's good, Pan? How have you been, bro?
Doing all right. As I said before, it's good to be back. I don't know how many months it has been. It felt like almost a year.
It's been
Maybe
so
it was
long.
a year. It felt like this, yeah. And it was a sudden stop, and it wasn't even like on purpose. It just, I don't know, it happened. Not enough
it
time to do that
steamrolled.
shit and stuff. Yeah.
It's like we had no plans of like even not recording. It's just like 1 week we couldn't, and then 2 weeks we couldn't, and then it just snowballed into 7 months. So sorry,
Yeah.
you guys, that we weren't able to talk to you guys for so long. But yes, we are finally back. I have a lot more clear schedule now. I think Pan does as well because I think you're close to finishing school, right? Or your semester's done.
Yeah, 1 semester away. So definitely got more time to do, like, different stuff now.
All right, yeah, absolutely, best. So yes, we are going to be doing, of course, the two theories as usual. Pan, do you want to go first? You want me to start?
I can start this time, yeah. My topic is on an old online. I don't know what to even call it because the people like it's a game of sorts, right? It's called Worlds.com. Like maybe there are people watching who are I don't want to say very old, but if you're around 30 years old, you might know about this because it's some sort of chat room MMO type game.
Yeah, I've
And
never heard of that.
and it started in 1995. So that's when this whole thing was founded. I believe it's like the first MMO type chat room. So with like a place like it's similar to VR chat as we know it now, but obviously looks very scuffed, ugly ass textures everywhere. But there are different worlds like VR chat. You can make your own avatars, and nowadays you can really customize them a lot. They still look very old, but now you can run around as I don't know the imposter from Among Us. So that's at
Wait,
least
so like
still
it's still
possible.
like active?
Exactly, yeah. This game is still active. I'm gonna just call it game now because I watched a video where someone visited this place and some of the people were really hostile towards the term game. They were like, "This is not a game. This is a chat room." So I'm just
What
call
the-
it game because it's easier.
Yeah, they're about to destroy you in the comments.
They can try, but yeah, this whole thing, this game chat room thingy is still going on, surprisingly, and you would wonder why it is still going on because you need to pay like server costs and shit for this stuff to still be running, and I mean the explanation for this is fairly short, but also weirdly funny. I forgot the name of the person who made the game. Right, it's been so long. I looked into this part specifically, but what I do know is that the person who made it was very smart back in the day and got a patent on like the concept kind of MMOs.
What?
So whenever multiple people would interact with each other, I don't know if it's specifically for games or as a whole, but he somehow got a patent back then because companies like we know today, like Ubisoft or Rockstars or whatever, they didn't really exist back then. If they did, the games were mostly single player shits, no MMO.
Yeah, there was
So he
really
was
like
there.
multiplayer stuff back then for sure.
Yeah, so he got a patent, and the only reason the servers are still running is because he is constantly suing companies for making MMOs.
What? So he just like he is taking claim of the whole like MMO idea.
Basically. So whenever like new games drop, he is able to sue them. I don't know if he always wins because it's like a weird I don't want to call it mistake, but it's just a weird thing to happen. But when he wins, he gets supposedly enough money to just finance this whole thing. It isn't like, from what I heard, it's not a whole lot, so he's not a millionaire or anything, but it's just enough to get some free money here and there, and also at the same time finance the server. So I mean, this is a thing, I suppose. Very smart guy. I wish I was alive back then and could have done the same, but I wasn't.
Absolutely.
But the weird thing is, obviously, with games like these, with things that are, I mean, now it's almost like 2 years away from being like how much is it, like 30 years ago? So it's more than 20 years ago, definitely. Or no, I can't do math. Maybe whatever. It's like 20 to 30 years ago.
20 is some change, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So obviously, with things that are this old, it's bound to have some weird shit on it. And whenever people go there, it's mostly deserted. So it's like you join the main lobby, like the main world that everyone goes to, and there are usually a few people in the main lobby, but whenever you go into the different rooms, the different places, there's like a whole concert room and whatever, like mazes and shit. No one is really there. But, I mean, I think all you need is the main room to just find out what's happening, really. The community there is also very hostile towards new players, because from time to time, big content creators find out about this game and send their whole community there to raid them and shit. So that really destroys their immersion and all that shit, and risks the whole game being shut down if too much, trolling and weird shit is happening.
Yeah.
But, I mean, so far it's still, kind of working. And while I'm researching this whole thing, I was wondering if I should even, have this as a topic, because I mean that. As one point, as I said, more exposure means the community will hate us for just talking about this topic. Yeah, but the second one is what I wanted to get to next, and that is some of the weird things, like some examples of weird things happening on there. And I mean, some of you maybe listening, you already know about this. This is not news to you. But those who don't know anything about this, like I did a couple days ago or some stuff, like I didn't know about this. This is like fairly new info to me. Two specific people who really stand out with the names of Gimli and Nexialist. I hope I pronounced the second one wrong. It's just spelled weirdly with an X. And why they are important? I mean, let's see. Nexialist is probably the more simpler thing. It's still weird, but it's not as weird as the next one. Starting off, Nexialist is a player that has been on this game for many years, more than 15 years, I believe. Now maybe even more than 20 years. Like, he wasn't there from the very start, but he's known for being there very long. And from the people who have seen him, there's usually one term they use to describe him, right? And it's cult leader. Obviously,
what the fuck?
weird chat room. It's bound to have a cult there, right? Like, how could it not? And yeah, he has a weird avatar, like creepy, right? It's like black coat and everything. Very tall figure with some bloody rabbit hat. I don't know if you can even like imagine that, but if you Google Nexialist on worlds.com, you probably will see a couple screenshots. And the people describe him as a cult leader because he's just going around the server, not really talking. People even say, whenever you see him, it's not because you found him, but because he has found you, which is a bit weird. So he's looking for players who are not entirely new, but have been on there for at least a while, and he talks to them in a weird way. From the screenshot I've seen, it's like you want to see something very cool, like in a weird way, and he gets people into like other rooms, other places, shows them creepy images, even asks for personal info as emails and shit, so he can send them. From what I at least learned, audios that are have weird sounds on them. For example, the audio of animals dying. So you just get a couple MP4 files. I don't know what animals, but it is still kind of weird to do. Not gonna lie, Nexialist, maybe you should stop. No one wants to hear that.
He is not stopping.
Yeah. And I've seen a Reddit post, surprisingly, or a couple Reddit posts where people are like, I met this guy. He's just a regular dude. Whatever, the things people are saying online are definitely not true. I have not seen him being weird and all that. And then in all caps, shit he's definitely not a cult leader. There is no cult on worlds.com. bro, that just sounds more suspicious. Like, why are you so adamant on defending him? It might be Nextulist himself.
It
But
might
yeah,
be
it's just-
him, yeah.
Yeah, but that's just a weird thing. There are a couple more screenshots where they are all wearing white coats, standing in a circle with the white pointy heads. You know what that means. But it is just weird shit going on there. But the really weird shit, in my opinion, is the whole thing about the other player called Jimbly. Because with Jimbly, it does reach more IRL stuff, and that's something you should maybe still be wary about if you decide to play this game, though I don't know exactly if Jimbly is still active, or if he just doesn't answer emails, because he doesn't answer emails when you message him nowadays. But Jimbly is known for forming a network of some kind in the past that was still ongoing a couple years ago, but as I said, nowadays not sure if it's still going on. The network worked like this: he wanted to have a group of people like that he in game could befriend. They could do shit together. What they would do, no idea, very cryptic. But to join, you would need to send a mugshot of yourself. So
What?
obviously very, very safe, guys. No, okay, I
have
can't
to be
even
a criminal?
Don't do it. No, you don't need to be a criminal, but it is like you need to make him to have a mugshot of yourself. Though I guess if you were a criminal and you have your own mugshot taken, you could also submit it. But it's called a mugshot. I don't know. It's just because stand straight, look in the camera, have a photo of yourself. You could just call it a self-portrait or selfie.
Yeah.
No idea. But the description is it has to be a mugshot.
That's
So no idea why he phrased it this way. But yeah, take a mugshot of yourself and send it to this random guy you've never seen before. And there's a whole site where you can see all the photos that the people sent him. So this is all open to the public for some reason. So no privacy there. Even in the game itself. In the worlds, from the screenshots, from people having experiences and all that shit, you can see all these faces, all the people who are in the network, in the game, and on this website. So rest in peace, your privacy, I guess, because there is no censorship. And the weird thing starts, there is an example with one guy sending his wife, and pictures of his wife to him, because he didn't want to show himself. At the same time, also sending nude pictures of his wife to Jimbly to really sell the whole point. I am this woman, right? Here's the proof. And yeah, at first, no one actually knew that this whole thing was with the wife was actually fake. People actually believed this is the wife, but Jimbly was at some point, you know what? The photos look kind of fake. Let me research this, and I'm not sure how long it was, but from what I remember, it was a couple days. He just posted that he found out the email from the original guy and had found social media posts and all that shit. So he somehow found out who the actual guy is sending the photos of the wife. Weird shit. Potentially doxing even. If he wanted to do, because he has all the info supposedly. And this whole thing goes into the real world. He has the photos. He can find out your personal information rather quickly. If this is all true, obviously. But, it's himself posting this, so no idea.
I don't see how the guy was I don't want to send a picture of myself, so let me just send a picture of my wife naked. Why is that the next thing to go to?
No idea. I mean, from the story that was told, the wife was... a peace star for work, so I guess the husband was that kind of makes it okay, which
it still doesn't.
Obviously doesn't. I hope the wife found out, because imagine someone someone whatever, maybe loosely know, maybe someone from your school was okay, worlds.com, and they have to submit the picture, and they submit your pictures. They can just go to social media, take your pictures, submit it there, and your face is there. So this guy just can look into you, can find you somehow, some way online, and not a good feeling, especially if you don't really know the guy himself. But yeah, this community, this network is rather large. from the amount of pictures I have seen, if they are actually all members of the network, it's definitely more than 50, or at least more than 40. So, as I said, no idea if it's still going on, but Jimbly, you're kind of creepy, bro. You're kind of creepy. And yeah, no idea if this guy, as I said, is still doing this. I watched a YouTuber try to email him, no response. I might try to email him himself, but I also don't expect really like any replies. But we'll see. You know, this whole game is weird. To download it or to play it, you need to download a couple things. Like you need an old version of Java and some other things. Really, you need to download the worlds. It's all like pretty complicated because you need to somehow get to the old servers, which you obviously can't really get to via Google, because back then it wasn't really how you got to the game. You had to download a few things.
Yeah, go to the Time Machine website and go back to 1995.
Yeah. So, if you're bored at some point, I don't know, like especially now before New Year's, maybe you're bored and you're listening to this. Maybe I don't know if this is when this is going to be uploaded. Maybe after New Year's, whatever. Whenever you're bored, why not check this place out? If you want, say something in the comments if you have more info on this, because I'm kind of interested in this whole thing. It's very cryptic. Not a lot is known about this place. A lot of it's like urban legends or people telling some stories, sharing their experiences. But because the people that are there now don't like to talk to new people that much. It's like they have their close circles. They stand around there, walk around there half a day, just in the chat room talking. And whenever someone outs themselves as a new player or as a YouTuber, even which is kind of worse, you're not getting any info from them.
And so with that, we will be going to the worlds.com website right now. Let's get this.
Fuck.
Nah, I'd be willing to go on there just to see what everybody's doing on there. Because if there's actual cults, that could be just weird.
Yeah. I mean, the cult thing is still questionable because I haven't really found any hard proof videos. It's people talking and people coming into contact with these two players. No idea, as I said, if this is still going on because, as I said, this game is old. I don't think even the hardcore players will constantly play this game. But, I mean, there are a lot of people in this world, so maybe there are a couple. Maybe there are. I believe in it. So this is like a new idea. If you're a YouTuber, if you're a streamer, whatever, let's go to worlds.com and check this out.
All these people got to be pushing 50. There's no way.
Has to be.
All these old ass men starting cults and shit. No way. All right, bet. Well, worlds.com. That sounds very, very interesting. I don't know. You kind of convinced me to want to go on there for a stream or something, just see what's going on.
We have to. We have to at this point.
Well, mine is it's actually a case that's still ongoing. This actually just happened, I think, last month. So you may have heard about this. Everybody that's coming from TikTok or something, you definitely heard about this because this is where I got.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is where I got it from. But it's basically a woman named Shanquella Robinson. Have you heard about that case?
I don't think so, actually.
Well, Shanquella, she was born in North Carolina, and she's actually a pretty rich woman. She has her own company. She does hair and nails and makeup and stuff like that. So she is the owner of something called the Exquisite Boutique, and it's based inside North Carolina. She owns it all herself. She has employees, so she definitely was very rich per se. Her and her friends decided, go on a trip to Mexico just for a little getaway because I think they're all in college as well. So they're probably all around the age of maybe our age, around 20 to about 24. So they decided to go to a place called Cabo San Lucas on October 28th. So like I said, this is actually very recent. This is 2 months ago. This isn't 2020, 21. This is this year, literally 2 months ago. So the people that she was, of course, going with have been very close with her throughout all of college. They probably met each other around sophomore year. So she's known everybody on this trip for about 2 years at this point. The friends were all thought to be having a good time because Shanquella had called her parents as soon as she got there. She was like, yeah, we finally made it. The plane ride was good. Everybody's getting along well. We're about to start drinking, having fun. So I'll call you tomorrow morning to just kind of update you on how my trip to Mexico is going. So the mom, of course, didn't really suspect anything. She sounded like, her daughter was having a good time. So she went to sleep without worry. Of course, her daughter was in a different country in Mexico, so that's the only thing she's really worried about. But other than that, yeah, she really could have cared less. Well, everything was going pretty smooth until that next day. Around 2 p.m. on the first full day of them being there, a doctor was allegedly called to the room. So the doctor came in. He said, "What seems to be the problem?" And he came into what he thought to be was an extremely drunk and dehydrated Shanquella. So he was checking her pulse. Her pulse was really low. She was stuttering. She couldn't even form proper sentences. So he's like, she's obviously extremely drunk. Her water levels are very low. So we need to, get her to the hospital as soon as we can. Because if people don't know, in other countries there are there's not just hospitals that are based there. It's not only Mexican hospitals inside Mexico. There are American-based hospitals, for people that are from America type shit. So he was like, we need to get her to the American-based hospital. It's about an hour away from here. We need to leave right now because I don't know how much this can worsen, basically. And whenever he said that, all the friends denied him taking her. I guess at that point I don't know how it exactly works whenever you go somewhere with your friends, but I guess they were technically her legal guardian at that time, so they could just deny him taking her to the hospital. But it's some weird bylaw to where he has to listen to them, basically. So they told him no, and he was like, okay, well, I guess I can just try to do what I can inside this hotel room. So he tried to administer an IV inside of her veins many times, but failed every single time because, of course, you're inside a hotel room. He's probably trained to do all this stuff in the hospital, not inside some random hotel room. So he tried to get the IV inside of her. It failed multiple times. After about 2 hours, her mom was called. So just let her know, make her completely aware of the situation. Your daughter is extremely sick. It's looking like it might be alcohol poisoning. There is a doctor with her right now, so she should be fine as long as the doctor is able to tend to her, of course. Well, about an hour after that phone call, Shanquella suffered from a seizure. And while she was having that seizure, the doctor was like, okay, yeah, we need to take her to the hospital right now. I'm not doing this inside here. So he called an ambulance. But the ambulance on the way to the hotel, her heart actually fell before it even arrived. So after about 14 rounds of CPR, 5 doses of adrenaline, 6 discharges, she then eventually passed away. So it was definitely a lot of stuff to keep her alive. The doctor was trying his hardest, but of course he couldn't do anything because they're inside a hotel room. There's not much you can do inside here except for what you brought with you. So the friends are already looking kind of suspect right there, because why would you deny your friend a trip to the hospital that could potentially save their life? Why, after seeing even just 2 rounds of CPR and 1 dose of adrenaline, you kind of need to be like, okay, yeah, let's do something. But they went through all 14 rounds and 5 doses and 6 discharges and just basically watched her die. So it's already looking kind of weird on the friend group. Well, a day later, the friend group then goes back to North Carolina from Mexico, and they sit down with the family, and it's like, yeah, we did everything we could. She must have gotten alcohol poisoning. We did drink a lot. She was drinking more than all of us. She was passed out drunk. There are actually a few videos of her drinking and partying and stuff. And I think there's even one video of one of the guys she had went to the trip with, one of her friends, who was actually really close to the family. That's why it's kind of weird, this whole situation, because this one guy to the entire group, even if they weren't all that close, maybe this one guy was he was always at family events, barbecues, hanging out with her at her house. This guy right here was her best friend. He recorded her basically she was muttering and stuff the night before, saying oh, you drunk off your ass, you really went there and stuff like that. So he had showed the family the videos and yeah, it must be alcohol poisoning. She definitely drank a lot, and we apologize for letting her get to that point and her dying, basically. Well, the family, whenever the news reports had started coming out that this happened inside another country and that she died, the family was like, well, their stories were all inconsistent. So like the guy was telling us that, you know, she was laying down at this time, and one of the girls was telling us that she was outside running around until midnight, and you know, the other guy she was with was saying that she was running from the bathroom and throwing up a lot the entire night and never went to sleep. Like, all their stories are pretty inconsistent throughout the entire thing. They were talking to her, basically. Well, a day later, her death certificate was finally published. And, you know, her family goes to look at it and everything, you know, to prepare her for her funeral and stuff. Because as of right now, the body is still in Mexico. Like, if you don't know, if you die in another country, it's extremely hard to get you back over here because, you know, investigations have to be completely done before they send your body back. Like, you can't just automatically be back here in North Carolina and then your funeral the next day. Like, they have to finish everything they need over there and then ship you back over here, basically. Well, they ended up getting the death certificate, and, you know, it says, of course, alcohol poisoning was a cause of the death, but below that it states that there were also neck injuries, spine injuries, and just a lot of bruises all over her entire body, basically. So they're like, if she died from alcohol poisoning, then, you know, where did these, it looked like she was attacked, basically, like bruises, neck, spine injury, like somebody like dropped her on her neck or something like that. Well, there was enough stuff on that death certificate for her to basically come out and be like, no, I want a private investigator, because something's not looking right. Like, we'll pay for you to go to Mexico, and you just kind of just snoop around and see what you can find out. Ask the friends, the family, all that stuff. Well, the PI comes back with information, and if you guys know about this case off TikTok, this is probably why. Well, there was a video that the PI ended up finding, and it's like, this could be very, you know, important to this case. I just want you guys to watch this. So he sat the family down, and the video was basically it was before nighttime, so it had to be like as soon as they had gotten to Mexico, this video took place. It was of Shanquella. She was completely naked, and there was one of her friends that she was talking to and whatever, and like as the friend was talking to her, she just was repeatedly basically just punching Shanquella and pulling her hair and just hitting her extreme. Like, I saw the video a couple weeks ago. Like, it was very brutal. Like, she was definitely hitting her as hard as she could and punching her, and you could just hear like all the friends in the background laughing and like, oh, you know, you fight her back. What you not fighting for? And Shanquella, she was just a nice and genuine person, so she didn't fight her back. She was like, I'm not gonna hit her. She's my friend. So she just allowed the other girl to just beat on her and punch her in the face and the stomach as she was naked. So I don't know if they made her, you know, strip down, but the girl was fully clothed, and Shanquella was the only one naked, and she was just basically just getting beat on as hard as the other woman could. So the family saw this and was like, yeah, there's nothing about alcohol poisoning that she died from. Like, you can clearly see that this woman was beating her to the point where like she could have died from these hits, basically. So they were all just sitting there laughing, telling her to fight back, and the coroner ended up coming back a day after that, after they had seen that video, and was saying like, yeah, she did. I mean, it was a part of it that she died from the alcohol poisoning, but the result of her death was something very violent and something very brutal that took place that, of course, we don't really know what happened, because like all the videos show was them fighting. It didn't, you know, show her kill or anything. Like, she was still standing at the end of that video. But the coroner thinks it might have escalated. The PI thinks it for sure escalated after that, because the more he's talking to the friends, he's like, yeah, they all seem like they're hiding something. Like, they keep giving me different stories. And as of November 17th, the police are still investigating in Mexico. I think they're actually like collaborating with America now to try to figure out what exactly happened. Because like this case blew up like huge. Like, if I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you heard this, because like I saw this on TikTok a lot. But yeah, this case is it was at its peak at about the end of November. Of course, it's December now. They haven't really found out anything. But yeah, rest in peace to Shanquella for sure. Nobody knows what happened except the people that were there, of course. There are a lot of videos like being found. There's the video of them fighting. There's a video that the dude recorded. And then there's a couple more that the police are holding on to. So yeah, we're going to really see what happens. But it looks like the friends definitely had something to do with her murder. And the family is coming out saying that it may be out of jealousy, because like I said earlier, Shanquella had a lot of money. You know, she had her own business, so there definitely was a lot of stuff for somebody to be jealous over. Especially somebody, if you're going on a trip with like friends that you don't really know as well as you thought you did, and they might be saying like, oh, you know, you're the one with the, you know, big money and stuff, and they're clearly showing signs that they want to be inside your shoes, so they think it's something to do with that, for sure. But rest in peace, 1000%.
Yeah, this whole story definitely took a turn, not gonna lie. Because the first thing definitely, you already mentioned it. It is super suspicious that the friends didn't even, you know, want her to get to the hospital at first, at least. That's already, to me at least, proof enough that they are definitely hiding something. If anything, I mean, they just didn't want to have her, you know, reach there to get help. Like, they were like, if we let her here, there is like more of a chance, you know, she dies, and she, as the only real witness, wouldn't even be able to, you know, tell anyone what in actuality happened. I need to look into this. I really somehow missed this, but the way you're talking about it, it definitely seems pretty big, and it's a case that, you know, can have a lot of theories. They're coming from all sides, so this is definitely something that is bound to blow up on TikTok. Just a lot of people theorizing, even on Twitter probably. I can see it being big on a lot of social media sites. Yeah, definitely need to look into this. But I also, I mean, the only people who we heard about from what you've told us here is that the friend group are the only people who could potentially know more. So they are the only real suspects here. If it's like a whole group thing, I don't know. Like, I don't know how many of them there were, but it does feel like it's not, like, from the video you described, it has to be either all of them or most of them at least. And if it's most of them, then what were the other people who didn't participate in this doing?
If I could like formulate some sort of theory, I think one of the friends ended up going too far. Like, maybe the girl that she was fighting with, like, may have accidentally, like, hit her extremely hard to the point where, like, she hit her head or something like that, maybe fell down, bumped her head on something, and then I don't think the friends expected for it to end up like that. So, I mean, you're in a situation where, like, of course, one of the dudes, I mean, it really wanted to make sure, like, the best friend, the dude was, like, a very close friend. Like, his name was Winston, I'm pretty sure. They were very close friends. They did everything together. Like, I don't know if he was the one that was recording, you know, laughing and telling the other girl to fight her back and stuff, but yeah, I mean, if you're watching two people fight, you're with all your friends, and you're watching two of your best friends fight, and then, you know, you see one of your other friends get hit, and then they, like, fall down and hit their head on the TV and just, like, crack their skull open or something. I mean, she had to have hit her spine, because they said there was spine injuries. So she probably fell and may have, like, hit the corner of something, and everybody kind of like, whoa, like, she's not moving, you know, you feel me? But I mean, it's a very sad story. Like, even though it blew up on TikTok, it's like I tried to, you know, find YouTube videos of, you know, people just talking about it, and there's really only like 2 videos. It just seems like it just blew up on TikTok and that's it. Like, it's not even like a huge case anywhere else. Like, it was only on TikTok, and then I tried to look it up on YouTube, and there was only, you know, 1 or 2 people really speaking on it. So
yeah, it seems fairly, like, as you said, recent. Maybe that's the reason. Or the YouTube creators, I mean, either they really haven't heard about it yet, maybe it's like not as big as we imagine, or they are waiting for more info to surface. I expect more information like in January, February probably. So we definitely, like you said, it has been a month and nothing really happened. If they are actually still like really on the case, trying to find out more, I expect some more info soon, maybe in a couple of weeks even. It somehow always happens. Like, yeah, we talk about a topic, and, you know, we don't need to wait for too long. Something around us happens that, you know, as if we're really in a simulation fitting this whole topic.
The fact that we found out that highway killer or whatever, like nobody's even talked about this for 2 years or for 30 years, and then all of a sudden they find him.
Yeah, that is enough proof for me to know that something is fishy.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, I definitely look. I wanted to look into this after this. Let's see if I can find some of the videos or the TikToks you were talking about. I should be able to find some of them at least.
Yeah, I mean, if you go on like Twitter and just type in her name, I mean, they're pretty easy to find. You might find like the blurry version, but she was definitely like hitting her extremely hard, and you heard people laughing, and they were just saying like basically, why aren't you fighting back? Hit her at least once, and like making fun of her basically. And you can just hear her saying like, I don't want to fight her. She's my friend basically, and stuff like that. So it was a pretty sad video to watch, but especially knowing the outcome.
Yeah, but damn, the friends gotta be some good ass liars if they still haven't cracked.
Yeah, I mean, they got interviewed by the parents, or not interviewed, but they got asked questions by the parents. They got interviewed by the PI investigator. They got interviewed by the actual cops, the Mexican and American cops. Like something definitely happened, because like you don't just find injuries on somebody and then nothing. Nobody hit them or anything.
Mm-hmm. Just the last thing I want to make sure, the videos of her getting hit or beat up, that was before the party, or was it after the party, or during the party?
So they had, I'm guessing, because the doctor arrived to the hotel room at 2 p.m. The video you can clearly see it's daytime, so it either happened like the day they got to Mexico, or like that video was like minutes before they called the doctor. Like, because it was definitely daytime, and there were definitely videos of it being nighttime, but I know they were only there for 2 days. Like, they left the 18th, and they called the doctor on the 19th.
Yeah, chronologically speaking, I feel like it has to have happened before the doctor arrived, like on that specific day. Because I don't know, it would be weird for her to get beat up like that, and then just going to a party and drinking a lot, having fun. Probably it should have been like they went there, had a party, she was drunk, then the video was recorded while she was probably still kind of drunk. Maybe that was the reason she wasn't even really able to fight back. And then the doctor arrived after a couple hours, even probably. She was dehydrated, so that already sounds like drunk. Yeah. If she's dehydrated, it was definitely alcohol. They didn't give her anything to drink, so she had no real strength to do anything. To fight back or to even move really. Though I guess the friends, I assume, called the doctor, not her. Maybe it was her. I don't know. And
I'm guessing it was probably one of the friends that didn't really agree with what was going on. Maybe, because I feel like unless they wanted just a paper trail of like, let's just call the doctor so they don't just come find a dead body later. Like, unless they were thinking that far ahead, like let's get her to the brink of death, then call the doctor, and then she can die while the doctor is here, and then we can just go back. Like, unless they were thinking like that, then
bro, what the fuck? Whole ass supervillains.
Yeah,
she was friends with the Sinister Six.
Yeah, dog. Like, I mean, okay, so the way they explained the friends, it was like she was extremely close with this dude, but she had only known the other ones for like, I guess like how you would call like acquaintances. Like she was pretty close with the girl. She was very close with the guy, and then like the other people there, they were just like friends of friends. So like she knew them in passing, like, oh yeah, what's up?
Yeah, no.
So
absolutely. The friend might just be the mastermind behind all this. He like organized this whole thing, got the group together, had some henchmen,
No, I'm interested in finding out what exactly happened, because like they're still investigating. Yeah.
I mean, definitely prayers to the family. That would be like devastating news for me. It's like at first you think, okay, it might be alcohol poisoning. The stories don't really add up, but we don't have more info. Then the personal investigator comes back and shows you a video like that. Holy shit!
Oh yeah, I mean, especially like your kid, like. And the fact that the person that was doing it was just sitting in your face telling you that they're sorry like a day ago.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I would do. Like, I'd probably do unthinkable things, honestly. Like, if I speak to somebody and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry we let your daughter die, Apollo, I'm sorry. And then they leave, and the PI comes the next day and like, yeah, look at this. Like, what the fuck?
This is way too crazy for it to be forgotten. As I said, I feel like maybe next month, maybe February at the max, we're gonna get some new info. If not, another case of the police not doing their job correctly. As I said, we have seen this on this in this series a lot. The police just, lazy as fuck. If you're police, no, I don't care. Dislike this video, we cannot see the dislikes anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Well, appreciate you guys for sticking through this episode. Thank you. Like I said, we are finally back, so expect more theories. We might do like some sort of series. I was thinking maybe soon I can get with Pan and discuss exactly what he wants to do. There's obviously a lot more, because I think whenever we were doing this about it, like last or whatever, like 6 months ago, like I think the what it called was like added on to the big ass iceberg.
You mean the
big like
series?
Wendigoon iceberg? I'm pretty sure it was added on to. Like I saw like a new edition, like where they.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. I see. Okay. Yeah, we can look into that. Yeah.
We can for sure try to delve into that and see what they got. Yeah, we are officially back. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Yes, sir. Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next episode. Peace.
See ya.